First of all, I didn't got placed in TCS, right? I was really excited, and then I got rejected. I feel like I have maintained a good LinkedIn profile. So why I didn't switch at the time that even though if I'll go to a product-based company, I'll be working on the same stack.
Hi everyone, welcome back to elearningbridge. I hope you guys are doing good and staying safe. And I'm back with another amazing interview experience. And in today's podcast, I will be discussing about the interview experience of MYNTRA for senior software engineer role. And the guest today I have, his journey to become a part of product-based company was not that easy, because he was also going through with that mindset which we used to have, that okay, we have joined the engineering college, at least I can prepare for the mass hiring companies. But the situation with him, that he was preparing but he didn't crack that mass hiring company, he landed into a different service based company. Now you'll be amazed to hear that he spent 3 years in his first company, which was service based firm. So that's why it is going to be worth listening for you, that what was the motivation factor that he spent that much time in his first company. And along with that, there are multiple good discussions like how you can grow as a software engineer from junior role, and what are the important tech stack in front-end development, complete interview process for the MYNTRA for senior software engineer role, how you should prepare, how should you target those companies for a front-end developer, how much coding is needed. That's the important question. These kind of questions I have asked, and at the end, how much hike you can expect and how you can negotiate when you move from a service based firm to the product based firm. So this video is going to be really informative for you, so make sure to watch this podcast till the end. And if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button, press the notification icon, and help me to reach 20k as soon as possible. So now, without wasting any time, just jump on to the podcast part. So hey, hi, welcome Abhishek on my channel first of all, and thank you so much spending your time in the weekdays. So it means a lot to me. So
Thanks.
quickly, I'll start with the introductory session. Just give a short introduction about yourself and how about your academics career.
Cool. First of all, thanks for having me here. I have been watching your videos a lot, so it's like an honor to be here now. So if I talk about my academics career now, so I am from like top wait that tier 3 college thing, right? So college was a tier 3. Then I joined another company that was a service based, so I got placed from college itself, right? And after that, I joined a company that was a product based, and now I'm back to MYNTRA, right? I'm in MYNTRA right now, and I think it's been like over 4 years total. So that's all from in terms of the journey and all.
What was your preparation strategy? Like, obviously, I know it's been a long time for you, like you have moved from your college into the industry, but still, like how you were preparing. And there, I would also like to add one important thing, that like most of the time we have seen that students used to restrict themselves to think big. Do you agree with that? Like in the college, it has
Def-
happened to me as well. It might have happened to you as well. So, what's your thought on that?
Definitely. So I'll be honest over here, and I'm not saying that I wasn't that guy. So when I was in college, I used to feel like, okay, if you get a uh, job in TCS, you're done, you're settled. And I'm not saying that having a job in TCS is bad and whatever, right? But
Yeah.
you have to think big. You have to surround yourself with people who are doing better than you, who are into companies which are way better than TCS in terms of different aspects, right? So it's not like somebody, I'm not saying that TCS is a bad company, but if you look at from the learning perspective, it's like a slow journey for you, right? So a lot of folks come into there and then
Yeah.
they are not able to learn and all those things. So that's one. And I used to think like, okay, if I get a job in TCS, I'm all settled. And it wasn't that way, right? I felt that when you come into this industry, when you surround yourself with people, when you go on LinkedIn, you are seeing that cracking FANG. Let's just forget the idea about FANG itself, right? Not even FANG. There are like tons of different top 10 companies in India and around the world as well, which you can s- crack or at least appear in them, right? So when you are in that top 3
Correct.
college, you don't get that insight, right? You don't get that, like your seniors are not talking about that stuff and all those things. So you are hindering yourself from all that progress and all.
Also, Abhishek, would you like to add your placement strategy kind of thing? Although, let's say your target, probably you restricted somehow yourself around those service-based companies and where growth is a bit slow. But still, like being from those colleges, how were you
Okay,
preparing?
so
Uh,
first of all, I didn't got placed in TCS, right? Even though I won't say I was preparing for TCS at all. So what I was doing is that okay, everybody was going in the line that hey, TCS is coming, TCS is coming. So you gotta like that's the first company which came into our college, right? So you gotta crack that.
yeah.
So I was really excited, and then I got rejected. I won't go in the like why I got rejected and what all the questions and all they asked, but uh, that from that point on till my first company, right? That was like a major, I'll say, you know, like major wake up sort of stuff, right? So you start thinking about what you're gonna do now. So that was like where I started preparing, and I'll be honest, I wasn't like that those bright kids, who were like preparing a lot in college sessions. Like if I like on LinkedIn, there are like a lot of folks are reaching out to me right now. They are like in second year, third year, and they are already coding. They're already going for Angular and all. I wasn't that kid. I'll be honest, I wasn't. Right. So I spent, I'll say, coding in Java. So I was like coding in Java, and I learned that those languages, and that was it. So I was like, "ठीक है, if I'm doing Java, I'm sufficient enough for TCS and all." And that was my mindset. But that was really wrong.
So let's move on to the next question, Abhishek. That's probably this is the important part of my podcast as well, because the main theme is knowing about the interview processes for different levels. So you are like working as a senior software engineer at the MYNTRA, right? So how did you get that interview opportunity? Because I do remember I saw in your LinkedIn profile it was mentioned that LinkedIn helped you to get that job opportunity.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I would like to know about that. And after that, for the senior software engineer roles, what is the complete interview process of MYNTRA? Like how many rounds, and in each round, what kind of topics and questions they used to ask?
Okay, so first of all, yeah, LinkedIn helped me get this job. The call which I got, that was from I applied on Mintra's XYZ opening, and then a recruiter reached out to me. Now there is this catch, right? So what I have done is I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, I feel like I have maintained a good LinkedIn profile. I have added all those things which I have done. I have a couple of recommendations over there as well. So try to like a lot of folks miss out that opportunity itself, right? So it's like your sales page. You got to sell yourself. Whatever you have done, you have to put it over there. And you like I have seen a lot of folks jahan pe like they have just like okay working over here and then the work history. They have nothing, right? So if I'm a recruiter, I'm landing over there. I'm not gonna like call you around, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing is if you have done something, try to add that to your LinkedIn profile. Share things and all those things, right? That helps us a lot. Now, if I talk about the overall interview process for SSE, right? So if you look at all those companies, so like there is, if I have given like a lot of interviews and I got rejected, and so, but now I see a pattern. There is a pattern, right? So the first interview round is like I'm from JavaScript background, so that is basically your JS. No, like there might be a initial round for coding round, right? Coding and machine round, right? So that might be there. The another round that's going to be the second round, that is going to be JS, and if like there are chances that they might ask you about the framework as well, but the second round is mostly about JS concepts, right? JavaScript concepts, deep concept if you know them, and if you, they'll keep on digging, right? So that's second round. The third round, which I have found in every other good product based company, that's your this data structure round, right? PSDS. So they'll ask you
Okay.
questions from that. Now I have seen that folks they say, okay, if you're from a front end background, you don't need to worry about that, but you do. Let me tell you, you do. Every company is asking, and there is like a separate 45 minutes round for that. So you have to be prepared about that. The next thing, which is I think
Okay.
so these all three rounds, I think these are common for SE and SSE as well. Now the next round which comes, that is like a design round or something of that. So like so there is like they ask someone will say okay this is like a JS2. Some will say like okay this is a design round. So over there they ask you problem related to how you want to design. So they'll look into that perspective, and then after that the fifth round is mostly about the HR discussions. And if they see that there is a case they are confused about it, they'll put another techno managerial round between. So that's the overall process.
Okay. So that sounds perfect, and I'm pretty sure whosoever is preparing for the at least senior roles, this experience will definitely help you that how the entire process goes on. So thanks Abhishek for sharing that. Do companies ask coding question for front end developer role, Abhishek? If yes, then how much it is expected from senior candidates? Because that's a very common question. As long as we grow, like our experience increases, we have this question like in our mind. Okay, do companies will ask for the data structures and algorithm or not? And especially for the front ends, even I'm not sure how much coding they expect from those guys. So what's your thought on that?
So definitely front-end developers are developer as well, right?
Yeah.
You're not directly doing the data structure manipulation. You're not directly dealing with database every day, but you're still working on those data structure problems, right? So we do not have like those, like trees and map directly provided in JS, but you can manipulate those, right? So what I'll say is that you do not need to be an uh, expert in that. Also, you do not need to be an MSL in that. So you have to find a good solution. So you know those things. You are not like, okay, so you are from a computer science background. If I ask you, hey, do you know this sorting? Do you know this searching? Right? You should know that. I'm
Okay.
not expecting you to be basically solving, DP problem or whatever, right? So frankly, I haven't encountered a DP problem. So there was one interview where they asked me the DP problem, but they didn't expect me to solve it completely, right? So I was like giving them solution, and then the guy was happy about it. And I see that for every other interview, this should be the process, right? So what I have felt, and this is like I'm going into another direction, but what I
Okay.
felt in the Indian interviews, right, that the interviewer is completely looking for a final answer, right? Some of them, what they are doing, they are just opening lead code and they are looking at the answer and they're like, if you get me this answer, if you get me this approach, that's right. It is not. So we have
Okay.
to look into that mentality as well. So you have to broaden your horizon and you have to look into what are the topics are there, and just don't be an expert. If you can be an expert, that's good for you, but you don't have to be. That's what I'm saying. So you are, if you are advanced or an intermediate level, you can at least start going into good product based companies.
Perfect. Completely agree. And thanks for clarifying this doubt that front-end developers are developers as well. So it's just like a fun conversation.
That was just a
Not
fun.
like
Yeah, it was just
yeah.
a, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
just
because I
fun.
have seen this, like at least not for the, I think not for the senior developers. I have seen this concern from the freshers. Like let's say they are working on this front end, they are very excited about it. They are, but they used to get confused. Do I need to also prepare for the coding rounds because I'm a front end developer and I haven't seen that much use of it? So that's what the major point.
Okay, I'll be honest. So if you are targeting the top tier one companies, you'll have to prepare for it. I'll be
Okay.
honest. If you are targeting some middle level companies, I haven't seen that proactively following. So
Okay.
they are like, okay, can you solve this like object and array issue and something of that sort? So they'll just look for it. So you have to find out where you're looking for, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Completely fine. So Abhishek, next question for you. If I ask you to list down important tech stack and frameworks for front end development, along with good learning resources, then what would it be? And I think it's gonna super helpful because I'm asking this question from a senior developer who has worked on a multiple tech stacks and best practices. So it would be really good if you can list down those things.
Okay, so first thing first, which you need to be worried about in front end, like the community, is that it's changing rapidly, right? So
Okay.
you have to be sure that you are at least preparing for those, right? So there are new things are coming every day, so that's like sort of a pain in the ass. But again, let's just come back to question. And if I talk about the technologies, first I'll look into the basics, right? If I'm an interviewer, if I'm asking you questions, I don't care if you are an like advanced level guy in Angular, React, or Vue or whatever, but I need to know that you are comfortable with your basics, right? So GS basics is must. For that, that MDN is there, right? There are tons of blogs on this Medium. You can go through them. There is, I guess, there's JS interview or something. I'm not really sure. I can like ping you that, right?
Yeah.
So you can just list down all those things, right?
Sure.
So those are there. Also, for any framework, right? If I talk about React, right? So they have done a pretty good job maintaining their documents. So if you want to learn React, you can go through those documents. You can go through that.
Okay.
Angular, I think they can do a better job at documentation, but there are like still they're pretty good documentation as well. So if I am looking to learn a new technology, I first look into docs. I'll be making sure what all the things are there, and I go by go through those documentation.
Okay.
After that, if I feel like there is I need to learn more. I go to Medium, right? So Medium just try to search a problem, and there are like tons of folks who are basically trying to solve your problems, so they'll help you out, and you may find like tons of blogs over there,
Okay.
right? So you can use those blogs as well. Then if you have Udemy subscriptions, there like Udemy courses are there, but they are like bit long, so it takes a like that repeated process, but it helps you in getting a hands-on knowledge and all. So there is this guy Stephen Grinder. He has provided quite good courses over there, and then there's this Maximilian or something of that sort. So there are lots, but like clear your basics, then go towards the frameworks.
All right, sounds good. And thanks for mentioning those important resources and frameworks. So now time to move on to the next question. Were you also passing through common situation like working in a service-based company and keep thinking about product-based companies? It has happened to me, trust me. Right, I was keep thinking about like what I'm doing here, what I'm doing in this service-based company. I made for the product-based companies. I love working on products where development is fast, rapid development is going. I can enhance my skill set. So were you passing through with the same situation, and any comments on that?
So first of all, I realized that a bit later, right? So folks like these days, I feel like I was a stupid kid or something. Right? So folks these days, what they are doing as soon as they get a job in TCS, they are just like spending their time like those 9 hours, and they are studying on their own, right? What I think I was lucky with that I got a really good project to work on.
All right.
It was it was like a really good project. I was like initially I was working on Angular 4 itself. Like I'm a fresher and I started working on Angular 4, which is at the time when I started 2016 was a new framework altogether, right? So it was a good opportunity for me. So why I didn't switch at the time, that even though if I'll go to a product based company, I'll be working on the same stack or something related to that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So I had good opportunities. So that's why I'll say that I spent like that 3 years over there. uh, Now coming back to that mentality, like do you want to switch to product based? Now people have to find out why they want to switch. Some are like they want to work on things that's like new. Some are there for money. Some are there for, hey, I can't do this Jira stuff and I can't log my time and all, right? So whatever. So you have to find your focus. You have to find a reason why you want to switch from product based to, sorry, yeah, service based to product based. So
Yeah.
that's, I had that mindset, but I think I was lucky enough to find a good project in the start.
Okay, next question for you, Abhishek. Did you ever think to join any startup? Because it's a common theory that we learn more in a startup. And I have seen this craze in the freshers, at least nowadays. I'm seeing this craze. Okay, I need to join startups. I'll be probably I can skip that thought of joining big product based companies. I'll go for the startups because I need to learn more. So, what's your suggestion for entry level freshers like to joining any kind of startup? So, yeah.
First of all, like my thought process, and then I'll say what you can do in the second round, right? So my thought process was I was getting good projects. Then I moved to a product-based company, which is very huge. But again, I was working alone, right? So I on the front end side, I was the single developer. So I was actually contributing individually. So that gave me a perspective that why you want to switch to a like a startup or something of that sort, where you are basically you're getting the same culture over here as well, right? So that was a plus point for me. That's why I didn't look into startups. Now the second point where people needs to be worried about, and like the folks who are just joining IT industry, they need to worry about, is that when I'm taking interviews, right, I see in a resume there are like 12 different technologies, right? And the guy has worked, like he has worked on it. I'm not saying he has not, but he has just touch based it. He has just, okay, he knows like couple of things over there, but he has mentioned that in his profile. That's bad for you.
Yeah.
When you're saying you have 12 different technologies, you need to know about it. So the problem when folks see ki, okay, if we are going into startup culture, we'll have to work on we'll get the idea to work on tons of different technologies, but there is a possibility that you might be the only guy working over here. So you will be working on front end, you'll be working on back end, you are the DevOps guy all on yourself, right? So
Correct.
there is a possibility that you might not get exposure to all of those things. So that you have to be worried about as well.
Yep, correct, correct. I do agree. Like in these startups, at least even I have seen this, responsibilities will be high because let's say you are okay, you have expertise in some specific domain, let's say backend, but there definitely sometimes you will get task related to front end or full stack development. So you need to be ready for that. If you are ready for those challenges, you want to learn that kind of stuff, definitely feel free to join any startup.
Exactly. You'll get more opportunity that way, but you have to be willing to learning about that. And if you're putting that in a resume, you have to make sure that you can justify that.
All right. So, Abhishek, I'll wrap up this session with one last and final question that is related to money, definitely. So, those folks like who are having around 3-4 years of experience and targeting senior roles, not the junior level roles, what range of salary they can expect from good product based companies? So, I'm not asking you to reveal your salary. I'm just asking,
It's not much. It's not much. See, if we are going into salary bracket, there are ways which you can look into. So there is this lead code, right? So if you're going to learn over there for data structure problem, you can go to the compensation section as well. So there are a lot of folks who are posting about what they are getting the salary.
Okay.
Glassdoor is there, but I think it's like quite old. There isn't any new data coming. Now, if I
Okay.
talk about the percentage hikes, that percentage hike is basically you can expect somewhere around 30 to 60%
Wow.
raise, right? So that depends on you. That depends on you. I'm not kidding. 30 to 60% raise you can definitely look into if you're moving from because what I see when you are in service-based companies, right? Your base package is really low, right? So there are some companies who take that, okay, they see, okay, you are coming at a really low package, right? But we have this like overall level for IC, you have this. So they try to push you up. So that gives you that 30 to 60% rate, but you should be able to justify that. Nobody will. Like if you are not good enough, they won't be giving you 60%. That's all. And if I talk about what they can expect in terms of numbers, so numbers are, I'll be again saying, so these are like really subjective, right? So if you have like, if you are earning what 12 lakhs already, so you might get 18 or whatever. But if you are on 6 or 7, you like that depends, right? So the 20 and all those range depends, right? So the range is somewhere around 30 to 60. And maybe there might be a lot of folks that are saying, okay, 30 to 60, that's too much. But yeah, it's there. It's there.
All right, all right. Fair enough, fair enough. So, yeah, thank you so much, Abhishek, to join us today and sharing those wonderful experience and the advices, whether it's related to the interview experience and the resources and how actually we should develop ourselves as a good engineer and those awesome advices for the fresher. So I hope our audience would have liked this podcast, and definitely you have any question related to front end development and anything, definitely I'll put Abhishek's LinkedIn profile in the description. You can definitely reach out to him, and all the discussed resources I'll definitely mention in the description box. So from my side and from my audience side, a big thanks to you, Abhishek, for spending your precious 30-40 minutes with us. That will means a lot,
Thanks
and
for
I
having
hope
me.
it will help a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me, man. And to whoever is looking into this video, just try to focus on it. I'll just cover up one more thing.
Yeah.
That the mistake part, right? So the mistake part is that if you are preparing for good companies, right? Don't be like, okay, this opportunity is going. So just be prepared, then apply for those opportunities. I did it, and I feel like that I did like something wrong over there. So when you are prepared, then try to basically go for the interviews and all. So that's the one advice which I'll go. And with that, I think thanks for having me and best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Abhishek. That was all about for this video, guys, and I hope you would have liked this video. And if you did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe the channel, and I will see you guys in next video with another amazing podcast with amazing person. Till then, just stay safe, stay home, take care of yourself and your family too.